What is up, everybody? This is Anthony with VR Game Rankings. Welcome to another episode of the Daily Vlog Live. It is Thursday. It is July 26th. Let me get the actual correct trailer up on here. Actually made one today. Yes, VR Game Rankings. Daily Vlog Live. It is episode 159, Thursday, July 26th. Of course, today is the day that Marvel Powers United VR is available. People are getting their hands on it right now. The reviews continue to be relatively underwhelming, relatively disappointing. I did see Virtual Reality Oasis, Mike, of course, from the UK. He had a review on Marvel Powers United VR, and basically his review, in so many words, is kind of like, if you're really a Marvel fan, you're probably going to want to experience this, but other than that, probably not. He also said that this is probably going to be a lot better for VR newbies, might enjoy Marvel Powers United VR a lot more than us VR veterans. Those of us that are VR veterans were used to this, and probably not a big deal here. So let me see here. I just popped out my chat. Let me see if it's anything showing up here. Okay, yeah. Okay, so cool. I guess I don't need to change. I don't need to update the URL in my chat every single day. It just automatically has the same thing there. So cool, we're good with that. All right, so we do have a number of little minor news stories today. And why don't we start this off with something very basic. And so I saw on the Vive subreddit that there is an experience on Steam that is called Exoplanet, and it is absolutely free. And so why don't I go ahead and throw, this is not like the official trailer for Exoplanet, but I did a search of the developer on YouTube, and this is his YouTube channel. Let me see, what was the name of this video? Is called VR Planet Update June 2018. So I guess he didn't really have a name at this point. Let's see if there's any audio for this. Let's see if okay. Yeah, the video is just kind of it's not like a great what do you call it, 16 by, it's not like a 16:9 video. So this is how it really is on YouTube. But yeah, so he made this thing called Exoplanet. It's 100% free on Steam, so you can go ahead and check this out. I saw a few people talking about this on the Vive subreddit. Let me go ahead and bounce over to the Vive subreddit real quick and just see what he had to say in this little thread here. But, I think it's kind of cool to highlight some of this free stuff that just randomly shows up. Looks like maybe he got bumped to the second page here. Hold on one sec. Now, of course, I can't find it. But it's called Exoplanet. And looks kind of cool. I guess you could teleport around. Not sure exactly what you can do in this. But it is on Steam. Let me just go ahead and look up the Steam page for it. But this is the kind of stuff that we can do with a live stream. We can look at interesting, weird stuff. Okay, yeah, so it's called Exoplanet. And let me turn down the volume on this because it's going to get annoying. Here we go. Okay, it's called Exoplanet, and the developer is Greg Brzezowski. Might be mispronouncing that a little bit. This was released on July 25th, so it actually came out yesterday. And here is what he's saying. Initial release of Exoplanet. Hello, everyone. Exoplanet is a relaxing exploration experience for VR I developed Exoplanet on my own as a hobby. Today I present the initial release. I made the engine for Exoplanet open source, available with the MIT license. You can find it here. I hope you enjoy it and stay tuned for more updates. About this game, Exoplanet is a procedural planet creator and explorer written from the ground up for VR. You can create thousands of planets and explore each one entirely in room-scale virtual reality, create icy, molten, rocky, or Earth-like worlds, each with unique features and terrain. And after finding one you like, teleport to its surface and explore every mountain, valley, and ocean. So basically, everybody out there, you guys have been asking for No Man's Sky. Here it is, and it's absolutely free. And it was available yesterday on Steam. There are 4 user reviews. This guy experienced on the Oculus Rift with one touch controller. This is an interesting use of VR. You basically choose a random planet. Yeah, so everybody that has reviewed it so far have recommended it. I mean, obviously, it's just a little free thing to screw around with, which we have a lot of that in VR, and I think we're blessed by that. In fact, there was actually a thread on the Oculus Rift subreddit where this one guy was celebrating how awesome it is that we get so much free stuff in VR, and I can't agree more. We get a lot of free stuff in VR. We're truly blessed when it comes to getting free things in VR. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out chat real quick. Crunchy is checking in. Hi, Anthony. What is going on, Crunchy? Welcome to the show. Stephen McDougall is checking in. I believe he's from Scotland, right? Stephen McDougall, just finished work and having an Irish cream with loads of ice as it's 30 degrees Celsius today. I don't understand Celsius. I come from North America where we use Fahrenheit. I know we're so backwards, inches, yards, miles. I know all of that is backwards. We don't use Celsius. That is backwards. We're very backwards over here. That's kind of what we do here. But guess what, folks? Sacramento, California, 110 degrees. It is supposed to be 110. 110, ladies and gentlemen. Man, 110. Okay, so Crunchy is saying that is 86 degrees. So you think 86 degrees is hot? Try this. 110 is what it's supposed to be later today. I don't believe I will be able to play any VR this afternoon. And actually, it's probably going to be one of these days where like so many people are using their air conditioning and have it blasting at incredibly high levels that sometimes it overwhelms our power grid and we lose power and everybody loses power. It's kind of bad. Okay, let me fix chat now because I'll get it so that we get just the newest post there. That should probably work over there in chat relatively decently. Okay, so we got some other stuff to get into. That was Exoplanet. Let's see, what else did we want to cover? Well, let's take a look at Runes VR. I've heard some talk about this game called Runes VR, which is going to be coming, I believe, in October. Let's take a look at... Oh, that is... Okay, yeah, so this is an image of Runes, the Forgotten Path, which I understand is being built from the ground up for VR. And it's kind of Runes VR. It is going to be coming this October. I do have a game trailer for that, so let me go ahead and get the game trailer. Where is my game trailer? Maybe I'm promising something I don't actually have. Okay, here it is. Okay, let's go ahead and throw that trailer on. Take a look. We'll listen to it for a sec. I like that sunset. That's a cool look, you know, the sunset in the background. Kind of reminds me of Shadow of the Beast. that old Amiga game from like a million years ago, Shadow of the Beast or something like that. It was one of Psygnosis, one of their very first games. Runes: The Forgotten Path, October 2018. We got a Vive and an Oculus logo. And the way I understand this here is that this trailer, a lot of it is kind of from a third-person perspective, but this game is first person. And it is kind of like spells, casting spells, stuff like that. I like the look of this world. And then we have the name of the studio, Stormborn Studio. How many studios are there that is like Storm Cloud Studio, Storm Rain Studio, Storm Punk Studios? You know, there's a lot of Storm something. And of course, Stormland. You know, we start to run out of names after a little while, it seems like. But yeah, that is Runes VR coming this October. That is something new that we found out about. And, you know, I mean, the trailer isn't very long, doesn't show us a hell of a lot. But in the Vive subreddit, they were talking about that a little bit. Let me bounce back over to chat. And we have Chris Gould says, looks interesting and free too. No Man's Sky with update is taking me out of VR at the moment, so really want No Man's Sky. Okay, so yeah, he's talking about Exoplanet, which is on Steam and it is free. If I can remember, I'll try to hop in there later and just, I like these free things. You know, you download it real quick, you hop in, you check it out. Why not? Fluke Rogi is saying Shadow of the Beast on the Amiga was a technical masterpiece back in the day. The game was a bit meh. It was very stiff, wasn't it? But those graphics for the time, yeah, it was all about those graphics. I mean, you would see a screenshot for Shadow of the Beast way back then, and you'd be like, oh, dude, no way. There's no way that is the real graphics, man. But yeah, Runes VR, I don't know. I'm getting a slight Shadow of the Beast vibe. Maybe it's actually just that like sunset back there, just the way it looks. I don't know. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Shadow of the Beast. Crunchy says the music reminded me of the 1989 Tim Burton Batman music in the beginning. Yeah, actually, it does sound a lot like that. Chris Gould says it's going to be 85 degrees in Birmingham, UK tomorrow. Or no, 85 degrees, I guess, today, and it's going to be even hotter tomorrow. See, the thing is, what I do know for you guys that are in the UK, like where it's unusually hot, it doesn't really matter what the actual temperature is. It matters more what your normal temperature is. And then when you jump, so like your normal temperature could always be 70 degrees Fahrenheit. And then all of a sudden it's 85 degrees Fahrenheit. And that might not seem hot compared to 110, but for people that are used to that 70 degrees and then all of a sudden, bam, it is 85, that's where it really catches you off guard. See, for us here in Sacramento, it's been like 100 degrees so many days in July that we're just used to the 100 degrees. Crunchy is saying humidity matters a lot too. Yeah, humidity actually matters more in my opinion. I can deal with the dry heat. That's the cool thing about Sacramento. We have a dry heat. We don't have the humidity. All that sweatiness, like if you lived in like Louisiana or something like that and you have all that humidity, oh man, it's a nightmare. You're just sweaty constantly. You could take a shower and 10 minutes later you're sweaty again. That really sucks. Okay, so we have everybody, I mean, we've got a lot of people in chat, so a lot of people are here. I wanted to pop on a story that I find batshit insane. I really believe it to be batshit insane. I don't know if this is like legitimately real, but I believe it is real. That's the funniest thing about it. So let me go ahead and show you guys something. Okay, so if you guys can see the screen right now, there is a company called Tella Existence Incorporated. Tella Existence Incorporated, and I believe this is a Japanese company. And there is some really weird shit going on with this. I'm about to throw on a video here, but basically the concept of Tella Existence, it's kind of like a drone. You know how you could have a VR headset, right? And you could be operating a drone that's flying around, and you could see exactly what the drone is seeing from that first person perspective. Well, this is kind of the same thing, but instead of having a drone, you have a humanoid robot that shops for you and buys surfboards for you. So let's go ahead and throw on that video. I saw something about, I saw this and I couldn't believe my eyes. I really couldn't believe my eyes. Let's hear it too. You get to feel the surfboard, feel it up, feels so good. Yeah, that robot knows what's up. That robot is a great surfboard shopper. He's like, look, son, we can buy a surfboard. Okay, now, son, we're going to touch some cherry blossoms. Yeah, we're going to have this $50,000 robot that's located in Japan, and we get to touch cherry blossoms with our $50,000 robot. I mean, is this like Elon Musk and his son? Because who the hell is going to be able to afford this? I agree this is a cool thing, but I don't know. Oh yeah, let's go to outer space. Yeah, let's send our $50,000, $100,000 robot to outer space that we're personally going to be able to take control of. I mean, this is like from an alternate universe. Is this a commercial from an alternate universe? Beyond Presence, Tella Existence. It is only $12 million. That's it. Tella Existence. Yeah, I thought this was batshit insane. I'm not saying that we'll never have something like this. I think we will have something like this. This makes sense, but I think they might be like 30 years too early, okay? I think you might be about 30 years too early. I mean, how much is that robot going to cost? And you're going to have this private robot that is like walking around, going to different shops, picking things out, trying clothes on for you. I think it is absolutely crazy. Like, I wasn't sure, is this a joke? Is this actually legitimately real? I think it's actually legitimately real. Okay, let's pop over to chat, because I know you guys must be laughing about this. Okay, yeah, Charles Van Nolan says telepresence. I can see them using robots for war, and it's controlled in VR. Sure, because the military can afford to pay $10,000 for a toilet seat, so they could probably buy an iRobot. Where's Will Smith, by the way? Shouldn't he be in this commercial? The future is here. Yeah, it really is. I think they're maybe about 25 years early, but, you know, I'm not going to blame them. Stephen McDougall says, that's awesome. Charles Van Nolan, I wonder what the delay is like between head motion and robot's view. Yeah, it's like, why experience your life when you can experience the life of a robot? First of all, the robots that we have nowadays, they're not like very good, okay? So what this robot is doing is basically you're getting visual feed from this robot, and then, you know, you have the gloves. I don't know what those two little things are. See, look, he puts on these gloves, and then there's like these things that he puts on his thumb and his forefinger. Yeah, okay, see those things on his fingers? That's like to feel the surfboard. So, you know, I don't know. This is batshit insane as far as I'm concerned. This should have been released on April 1st. I think it would have been better on April 1st. Let's see, Jim Hall. It would make more sense if the business owned the robot, not the consumer. Can the robot go to the bathroom for you too? Yeah, one day I bet you they will. Guess HTC will up their prices now. I want one. We'll send it to do my work. Yeah, I just want a robot that can wash dishes. honestly. I was talking to my wife the other day about I think dishwashers are kind of a joke because you really have to like wash your dishes, then put them in the dishwasher, and then the dishwasher kind of finishes the job. And I think we need to have robots that can wash dishes. It's the only way our dishes will really get clean. Hospital applications for patients with highly infectious diseases. This would be ideal. Yeah, and like hostage negotiation, you know, you send in a friendly robot, you know, and then if the terrorist wants to take his M16 and blow your robot out of the sky, you don't have to worry about it too much. The Bruce Willis movie Surrogate is what it reminds me of. Yeah, it does. It definitely does. I remember a surgery bot for remote surgeries a few years back. Yep. People on the street would abuse that robot, throw rocks and stuff at it, tip it over, tag it. Yeah, you know, Key and Peele could do like a funny skit about a robot like this going to the hood and what would happen to a robot like this. That's the thing. It's like we have all these like people that believe in this beautiful utopia where we're going to share these bikes and we're going to leave these bikes in certain spots, and it's this share economy. Everybody shares everything, and then you see the bike in the hood and it's like thrown off. It's all jacked up. It's so funny. Current robots suck. That's the problem. That's Main Fan checking in. Yeah, that robot looks pretty freaking advanced. Like, I don't know. Like, I didn't know that we had robots that good. You know, I actually saw a legit robot in person. I think was I at Disneyland or something? I was somewhere. You know the Honda robot Asimov? The Honda Asimov robot. I saw that robot in person, like standing, you know, 15 feet away from it. That was a pretty cool robot. This was a number of years back, so I know our robots are better than that. Asimo, yeah, Asimo. The Honda bot. Yeah, so I don't know. I think it's kind of funny, but, you know, this is a real product, I guess. It's a real thing. Be anywhere. Do anything with your robot. Go to the moon with your robot. Go to Mars. Like, how much is that robot, though? I guess you could rent. The company could make so many of these robots, and I guess maybe you could rent like 15 minutes with the robot, you know, and you want to send the robot to Malibu to buy you a brand new surfboard. You know, I mean, this is going to be marketed to a very small number of people on planet Earth. One guy was saying, too, this is a Japanese company, but they have all these white actors in it. The robot puts the HMD on the human, then it's all over. Yeah. The robot puts the HMD on the human. The robots are taking over. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. I do have a couple other minor little things we can get to. Well, you know, we could talk about Facebook earnings. The Facebook earnings came out. There was some interesting information there. Let me go ahead and switch up. Now, I don't have a good Facebook video. I just found like some random Facebook earnings CNBC video here. Jason Hefstein from Oppenheimer and Company. They're talking about Facebook's earnings, which would happen tomorrow. And that was, I believe it was yesterday. Let me go to the Oculus subreddit because there is some news in here, because there was some minor mention of VR in Facebook's quarterly financial results. Comments regarding VR. Yeah, this is on the Oculus subreddit. There's 25 comments here. And so basically there's a few quotes here that we might want to think about. So it's saying, these are some comments that Oculus was making. They said, beyond apps and looking at the next 10 years, we're making a lot of progress with VR. Our goal is to create a feeling of presence, like you're right there with people you care about, even if you might be halfway around the world. Oculus Go is off to a good start, and at $199, it's going to be how a lot of people experience virtual reality for the first time. Yeah, a couple of days ago, I was kind of wondering out loud, when are we going to get some numbers on Oculus Go? I guess they don't have to, like Facebook eventually will probably release those numbers at some point. They are a publicly traded company, but we don't have any numbers on Oculus Go as far as how that's doing. Another quote that they say is, we continue to expect The full year 2018 total expenses will grow in the range of 50 to 60% compared to last year. In addition to increases in core product development and infrastructure, the growth is driven by increasing investments in areas like safety and security, AR, VR, marketing, and content acquisition. Yeah, you know, Facebook is working on AR as well. So they are doing this VR stuff, but I think Zuckerberg and company, you know, they know that HoloLens, Microsoft with HoloLens, they know that Magic Leap, and they don't want to just give away the AR market as well. So Facebook is probably working on an AR product as well. We didn't hear anything about that yet. But let's see. So yeah, I mean, you know, not a lot of major information here from this Oculus, Facebook's quarterly results. Just thought I would go ahead and mention that real quick. Let's see what anybody's saying in chat. Okay. Scroll down here. Facebook owns Oculus. Yes, we do know that. Facebook puts the HMD on the human. Staff will flee with less stock incentive to stay. Good for OpenVR standards. If only their Facebook Spaces would work. Doesn't work for me, even using different PC and hardware. Yeah, I haven't really screwed around with Facebook Spaces because at first I didn't have my Facebook, like a Facebook account linked to Facebook Spaces. But then I created a Facebook account for VR game rankings, which I never do anything on, which I know, shame on me. And then I linked that to Facebook Spaces, but I don't know that I ever actually went into it. AR and VR will eventually merge. MR is the end game. That, of course, is Lethal Weasel VR. And yeah, we all kind of know this. I think all of us on the inside know that it's not necessarily a battle between AR and VR. They're going to just merge into each other. You know, VR is going to become more and more AR, and AR is going to become more and more VR, till it will eventually become a situation where you know, you're not even going to use these terms anymore. And then what's going to happen to VR game rankings? Oh no, we're going to be dead. So hopefully they use these terms for another 20 years is what I'm hoping. Okay, let's see. What else can we go to? You know, there's a brand new trailer, I think, that was released today for a game called Zero Killed. So why don't I go ahead and throw that trailer on real quick. Zero Killed is a game that I have been watching a little bit, and this game's been delayed forever. I think it had a different name at first. Let me give a little bit of volume. We'll check this out. Not hearing anything now. Okay, here we go. So I guess no real gameplay footage. Wow. Coming September 2018, but we're not going to show any actual gameplay footage. That's kind of abnormal. So Zero Killed actually had a completely different name. And then they changed their name to Zero Killed. And I forget, Special Forces VR. I think it might have been Special Forces VR originally. And I had like a screenshot and it said, you know, Special Forces VR on there. And all we had was really like a couple of screenshots. And it kind of looks a lot like a lot of these other games. You have Firewall, 0 Hour, right? We have a game called Alvo. And then we have this game called Zero Killed. But I know that Zero Killed has been in our most wanted rankings for a while now because everybody thought it was coming a long time ago and it's just been delayed forever. Now the developer's name apparently has changed as well. I'm going to look up Zero Killed on Steam just to see what does it say now, because I forget what the name of the developer was. VR Vizio, I believe, was the name of the developer, but it looks like they changed the name of the developer now too. Yeah, now it's Exhibit IG Nibbit. It used to be, the developer used to be VR Vizio, and the game was called Special Forces VR, I think, something like that. Then it got changed to Zero Killed. Says available September 2018. They do have some pictures on here, like screenshots. But yeah, this is, you know, because we're not going to get Firewall 0 Hour, we're not going to get that on Oculus Rift or HTC Vive. So there is a market for more of these kind of Rainbow Six style games, Call of Duty-ish style games. I mean, we obviously have a number of games already like this. You know, we have Pavlov, we have Onward, and then you have stuff like Standout VR, and what are some of the other ones I'm missing here? But Zero Killed, they're going to throw their hat in the ring because you know, there is some opportunity there, especially with a game like Firewall not going to hit PC VR. So we do have a lot of other companies that are competing in this space. Okay, let's see what people are talking about over here. But yeah, that trailer didn't show much of anything. Tess Rim says, I remember that game, Counter-Strike. Yeah, everybody's kind of trying to make the Counter-Strike of VR. Charles Van Nolan, genius way to avoid any animating. Oh yeah, Sebastian's alternative reality. MRTV Live, right? He's in the house, my boy. What is up, Sebastian? How is it going? That's cool. Pavlov makes me sick within about 1 minute. I've actually never played Pavlov. How embarrassing is that? I have played Onward, never played Pavlov. Does those image effects even fit in VR? I mean, honestly, we can't really take any. Zero footage, that's a good one. Yeah, Lethal Weasel VR, that is zero footage, zero gameplay. But, you know, supposedly September 2018 is just around the corner. So if they're really going to make that date, then we're going to start seeing some more info on that. But that was Zero Killed. I believe this trailer just came out either today or yesterday. So thought we would mention that really quick. Let's see, what else can we talk about here? Let me throw a different trailer on real quick. Okay, so here's the Wizards.
Have you ever dreamt of becoming a wizard? Sorcery is now within your reach. But will you dare?
So the Wizards is in the news because, well, I mean, it's on the Oculus subreddit. They just have a little thread saying, you know, I guess it's been about 1 year since the Wizards was released, and they're celebrating with a 50% off sale. So you can pick up the Wizards for $10. I think I tried this game. I think I had a demo or something and I tried it a little bit, but I just didn't really get into the Wizards. Did anybody else ever get into the Wizards? But yeah, I saw that on the Oculus subreddit. It was talking about 50% off. Let me go check that thread real quick. So bouncing over to the Oculus subreddit. The Wizards celebrates 1 year anniversary with 50% discount. Yeah, there's only 3 comments, so it's not a lot of people in here. Worm Slayer is saying, wow, a year already? Happy anniversary. Trefoil Hat says, congrats. The Flying Baron says, congrats, mate. The game has come a long way since first launch. Yeah, I do remember my buddy Arrowin X, he got into the Wizards, or maybe he got like a key to the Wizards or something like that, and he was disappointed with it in the beginning. Wasn't a big fan of the Wizards early on, but I have heard that it has improved. So at $10, maybe worth a look. I think this had a free weekend at one point. I probably should have checked it out on the free weekend. Actually, you know what? I think I downloaded this to check it out during the free weekend, and I couldn't get it to run or something. I forget what it was. But the Wizards is having a little bit of a discount. We bounce back to chat, see what people are doing. Looks like everybody's still talking about Pavlov. I haven't played Pavlov because SteamVR runs like garbage for me. That's Charles Van Nolan. That must suck, because I got a lot of stuff on SteamVR. If it ran like garbage, that would really suck. Do you have Pavlov? Is Mame Fan asking me? I do not. I don't have Pavlov. I've never even played Pavlov. And I know that, like, it's $10, and I know it was on sale for like $6.99 very recently, so I could have grabbed it for $7. Still have never played Pavlov. I think one of the things that have scared me away a little bit... Wait. No, that's Onward. Which is the one where you have to, like, you get a gun and you have to learn how to load your gun and turn the safety off and all of that. Is that Pavlov or is that Onward? Because one of them scared me away from it because I thought, oh, I'm going to have to spend like an hour figuring out how to, like, equip my equipment belt and, you know, load my gun and do all of that. And I kind of got scared away from it. Yeah, that's Onward. I did play Onward. And Onward is pretty cool. I had some fun with Onward during a free weekend. So the Wizards looks... I mean, this trailer makes the Wizards look pretty cool. The problem is we can't really trust trailers in VR. I've found that to be the case. Like, trailers can lie. Like, you could have a game that looks hella good in trailers, and then you get into the real game, it doesn't look anything really like that. But yeah, so the Wizards celebrating 1 year. I don't have too many other stories to get into, but what I do have is a really weird video. And so I'm going to go ahead and throw that video on the screen and we can talk about this. Now this video is going to be a very weird... it's going to be a very weird format, so... We'll have to see how this works. Okay, yeah, so it's like... Okay, so here's this video here where it shows a bunch of dudes... a bunch of dudes walking around with their Vive Pros in, like, an empty warehouse kind of room somewhere. This is just a funny video. Like, just looking at this video is just funny to me. Is it funny to anybody else? I don't know why this video is so funny to me. It's just funny seeing all these guys standing with their Vive Pros. And tell me, guys, the Vive Pro, the, like, doggy ears that are on the side of it, you know, like the doggy ears, like what is the ponytails or whatever? I don't like the look of the Vive Pro. Am I wrong? I do not like the look of the Vive Pro. It just looks like too much of a contraption over here on the sides. Couldn't they have made those things a little bit smaller? Why do they have to stick out so far from the side of your head? But look at all these guys have wires running to their headset. So they all got cords. They must have some really long extension cords. But there's like 6 or 7 dudes in here walking around. Shooting their gun. This is a hilarious video to me. It's just really hilarious. But yeah, I think that the story, let me get to the Vive subreddit. There's a little thread about what was going on here. But I found that video quite funny. Let's see if I can find where the thread is for this. It's talking about, like, all these different... SteamVR 2.0 test. 6 players in 1 space tracked by 4 base stations. Yeah, we talked about this yesterday. Dow1Dow was the guy that posted this. And I couldn't remember how to copy a Twitter video. And there's a website that you can go to where you just paste the URL in there and it spits out an MP4 that you can download. So yeah, this is a SteamVR 2.0 test, 4 base stations, 6 players in 1 space. And, like, if you go into this thread and you look at what people are talking about in this thread, there's a lot of people in here, especially a lot of VR arcade owners, that say, look, I got 2 lighthouses and we have 3 VR booth areas that are being tracked by 2 single base stations. And he's saying we could probably do 4 booths in the same space. So he's basically saying, look, this is not a big deal. Lighthouse 1 can kind of do this if you put them up high enough, and you know, they could cover a huge area. This one guy is saying the base stations don't track. They vomit light into the room. You could have 50 headsets working if they didn't occlude each other from that light. Replace the infrared light with gamma rays. Problem solved. Of course, everybody will die or turn into the Hulk. But yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting video here. I wonder, like, eventually what this is going to need is the other thing that I was talking about. We're going to need some kind of external tracking device to kind of track skeletons of all these people, so that these people could kind of walk around, they could see the other VR guy and then not bump into the other VR guy. You know, one of the requirements to get into this video, you had to have a beard and be slightly balding. Otherwise, you were not admitted to this video. Crunchy says, gamma rays fix all problems. Tell that to Banner. Okay, Crunchy says, can you trust trailers with anything, though? No, not really. You really can't. That's the downside. Charles, if you have Rift Core 2.0 running, that made SteamVR suck for me. Yeah, you know, I had to go, like, I'm not using the new Rift thing. I'm using like the old Rift thing because I was having all these audio problems. Stephen McDougall says, looks fun. Yeah, but Stephen, do you have a nice beard and are you balding? Because if not, you're not allowed to get in there. Crunchy says, I have no idea what's going on. The guns look cool. Yeah, they do look kind of cool. I wonder if they have a kick to them. The guns look like they are tracked. A couple of guys are like kind of getting down on the ground here. It looks like everybody's connected to like laptops on the ground. Look at that one guy back there posing. This is truly funny. Why don't they sell suits with infrared dots, infrared LEDs for body tracking? Would be cheap to make. Yeah, but imagine we're in 110 degrees, Steven. How are we going to wear an infrared bodysuit in 110 degrees? Whatever happened to the Vive wireless adapter? Well, Nick, didn't you see our Tella Existence video? Because that guy had Vive adapters on his gloves. In that Tella Existence video. I could just grab the picture of that Tella Existence. See right here. Oops, now I gotta resize this. So yeah, in this picture right here, see that tracker on his wrist? What are the name of those gloves? These gloves are like a real product, right? Like these Haptex gloves or something. I forget what they're called, but you actually put a Vive tracker right there in your wrist. Not at all uncomfortable. Not at all uncomfortable to put a giant tracker right on your wrist. But yeah, Vive trackers still exist. You can actually buy them. You can go to Amazon and get a Vive tracker for 99 bucks. The problem is I think they're the old Vive trackers. And then there's going to be the new Vive trackers that are compatible with SteamVR 2.0. The official HTC Vive wireless adapter is supposed to be coming out very soon. That is Barry Schuler. Well, we heard way back in the days that it was like around August. We're approaching August very quickly, and we still don't have much information about that, which is a little concerning. Let's see, did I have any other videos that I could go to? No, it looks like I kind of ran through my videos. So I'll see if there's something else I can throw onto the screen. I'm going to throw on this display. Hold on one sec. I'm just going to throw on some random videos in the background here, and then I'll take another quick check of I'll take a quick check of the subreddits and like Upload VR and stuff. So yeah, I just threw on this random video. This was that Samsung, you know, where they were showing like the PPI and all that. Yeah, that's the 1200 PPI, and this was a news story way back in the days. This is, yeah, the LCD where it shows. I mean, that does look really good. I love all those McDonald's signs. They look super clear. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to bounce over. Actually, let's go to Upload VR. I'm going to bounce over to Upload VR. Oh, you know, somebody in, I think, the comments for yesterday's video was saying, why can't I put my browser onto my OBS screen? And I can put the browser on the screen. The problem with that is I really need to set up 2 monitors, which I don't have 2 monitors set up right here, and I don't really have a stand that would accommodate 2 monitors, so that's a problem. But if I had 2 monitors right here and I had it set up, you know, as 2 monitors, then what I could do is I could have the second monitor dedicated for the browser window that I could then pop up in OBS. And so like I could be going to Upload VR right now and I can show you guys like me browsing Upload VR in that other window, but I have to get another monitor and set it up that right, and it's just kind of a pain in the ass, so I haven't done it. Sorry about that. Okay, so Upload VR is saying Hellblade PSVR not happening, Ninja Theory explains. Yeah, I mean, they're probably explaining that. Well, let me click on it and see what if there's a quote. It doesn't look like the quote, but they said in the announcement video it's coming to very high-end PCs, and that users should have a top-end 1080 graphics card to run Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. So Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is coming on the 31st to the Vive and the Rift, but you know, I don't know that game's going to run at all on my 970. That's one of these games that's going to like not work very good. Mark Zuckerberg, Oculus Go is off to a good start. We, of course, talked about this with the Facebook earnings. We don't have exact numbers here, but off to a good start is encouraging. Upload VR has a story about the crazy video that we saw with all these people walking around with their Vive Pro headsets. They have a story about that. Sega Genesis Classics Collection adds PSVR support. Actually, you know what? I didn't get a video for that. Shame on me. Let me go see if I could find a video for the Sega Genesis Classics Collection. One sec here. Okay, Upload VR has a video. I hate using other places' videos, though. I like to use like the official video for like PlayStation or something. Not seeing it though. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can search around for a while, but no, I'll just go ahead and grab this Upload VR one. They'll just throw their little watermark in the corner there, but that's all right. I'll give them some love. I mean, Upload VR, I don't hate them. You know, I don't hate Upload VR. I mean, obviously I go there every day checking out stories. Same thing, you know, Road to VR. We don't have like a ton of websites that really cover stuff in a very good way. So I'm downloading that trailer, so we'll throw that on in a sec. Let me bounce back to where we were before. So yeah, Upload VR, they're talking about PSVR deal bundles in the UK for about £230. The Persistence, Resident Evil 7, and more for £230. Paradise Decay was looking to possibly grab a PSVR. So I guess there's a deal where you get Persistence, Resident Evil 7, you get Stardust, Ultra VR, and PSVR Worlds, all of that for $230. That's 4 games and the camera. I guess you don't get the Move controllers though. Oh yeah, you don't get the Move controllers, so that's kind of questionable, but not a bad deal. Okay, now I will bounce over to Road to VR. Got to give both of them a little bit of love. So Road to VR, Marvel Powers United VR, now available on Rift. Watch 60 minutes of expert gameplay. Some real experts going at it. Bow to Blood to land on PSVR next month. Yeah, we knew about that. Hellblade, first look at Hellblade, we knew about that. YouTube VR, Google's YouTube VR app is coming to Gear VR. Yeah, I did hear about that. The YouTube VR app is coming to Gear VR. That was another little story. But not seeing much else. So I'm going to go ahead and hop back into chat. Okay, Crunchy says they are also pricey. I think he's talking about the Vive trackers. Yeah, he's talking about the Vive trackers. Yeah, they're 99 bucks. And I think they're a little, like, I wish they could have been about half the size that they are. I want feet track to kick the shids out of stuff in cybernetic. Yeah, feet trackers would be really cool, especially for stuff like Football Nation VR or VR FC, whatever they're calling it this week. Chris Gould says, off to a good start equals not selling as well as we would have liked. Well, yeah, I mean, if it was selling ridiculously well, you probably would have got some type of other quote or maybe some numbers. Up U.S. Park Talk. So is Marvel Powers VR a must-buy if you are a Marvel fan? According to Virtual Reality Oasis, yes. However, if you're a Marvel fan that is a VR veteran, then it might be a bad thing. See, yesterday I was saying it's very unfortunate that Marvel Powers United VR is not that good of a game because they're bundling it in with Oculus Rifts. But the thing that I didn't remember is a lot of these people are going to be brand new VR players that haven't played a million wave shooters. And so if you haven't played a million wave shooters, you might actually kind of like Marvel Powers United VR because you haven't experienced a million painting by the numbers wave shooters. And so, you know, I didn't think about that angle, you know, so there is that angle. Kev Gret, Best Buy US has VR Doom bundle for $224 starting tomorrow. Not a bad deal because in the VR bundle, you get the camera, you get Doom VFR, and I think you get it's the newer headset. So, you know, that's not too bad of a deal. Skyrim bundle is going to be $274. Man, there's a lot of good deals on various PSVR bundles. Crunchy says, it sounds like Marvel VR is shallow in gameplay at this moment. Yeah, and I don't think it's going to change dramatically anytime soon, so I wouldn't expect any like major patch that is going to... it is what I feared it was. You guys remember, I said that I got like my gut instinct for Marvel Powers United VR is you're dropped inside this arena. You face waves of crappy foot soldiers, like endless foot soldiers, and then you battle some kind of villain at the end of that is like the villain for that particular stage, and it's kind of rinse and repeat. And that's kind of Virtual Reality Oasis. He was talking about that yesterday, and that seems to be like worst fears realized. I'm still going to check it out. Mainly because, you know, I'm in this business of covering this stuff and I kind of feel like a responsibility to check it out. But if I was a regular average VR gamer, I would not be paying $40 for that. I'd have to try some kind of demo or something. Crunchy says, that is the key, I think. The game is to attract new customers to VR. Yeah. That's what we gotta hope. We gotta hope, you know, for new customers that are Marvel fans, they're probably gonna get in there and enjoy it. You know, they're probably gonna get in there and enjoy it. Oh, the other thing that I did here is you can go into the options and you can turn off the annoying one-liners that your heroes are going to be constantly saying over and over and over again. So that is really good news because that was one of my number one worries. Okay, I'm going to check. I'm going to do a last quick check on the 3 various subreddits just to see what's going on. The top thread on the Vive subreddit is Think VR is Dying? It's just getting started. And this is from blog.vive.com. So let me go ahead and click on it and just see what the heck they're talking about here. This is on HTC Vive's little blog. Have you heard the news? Analyst reports are in, and apparently it's curtains for virtual reality. Pardon us if we're not heeding the alarms. News of the so-called death of VR comes once a year and is greatly exaggerated. Yeah. This is a non-story here. VR is not dying. It's just VR is not going to be as hyped as everybody wanted it to be, probably for about another 4 or 5 years. But VR is going nowhere. VR will survive very much. No worries. Yeah, not much else seems to be going on the Vive subreddit here. Hey guys, anyone London-based want to do a group booking to try out Mario Kart VR? Yeah, all you guys that are in the UK, you can actually try out Mario Kart VR. That's kind of cool. Although, if you don't live in London, traveling all the way there is probably not the most enjoyable thing. Like Gary, I doubt Gary's going to drive up to London to try Mario Kart VR. Let me go bounce over to the Oculus Rift subreddit real quick and just see if there's any new stuff. The top story on the Oculus Rift subreddit is, what a trooper, didn't rip the headset off. And it's basically just a video of some lady getting freaked out. I don't know what she's playing, but she's like jumping around, doing all kinds of... See, if I owned a VR arcade, this is what I would be worried about. I mean, this lady's like down on the ground. Actually, let me go ahead and copy this. I can actually get this video into, well, I don't think it'll work in 4K. Oh, it worked in 4K video downloader. So hold on, I'm going to throw this on real quick. It's just basically somebody acting goofy in VR. And it's amazing. Oops. Clicked on the wrong thing there. Okay, game trailer window. It's amazing that somebody acting really goofy in VR is still a thing. It's still a thing this many years later. How is that possible? Okay, here we go. Somebody acting goofy in VR and jumping around. I don't have a good window for this. It's like she's tap dancing or she's being attacked by a couple hundred bees. See, this is probably at like some VR arcade and they have the cord, you know, coming down from the top. And this guy's like trying to pay attention and make sure that she doesn't strangle herself with the... I mean, come on, look at that. Acting absolute... She's like doing the splits and still having crazy fun all the way through. Sometimes you wonder if this stuff is like... I don't think anyone has a good window for this, yeah. Well, I could make a vertical window for these kinds of videos. But I don't know. Can anybody tell what game she's playing in the background? Like, what game is that? It almost looks like there's a bird that starts flying at her at one point. I don't know what, like, looks like a crow. But I can't really tell what's going on there. It's Crunchy says, of course it is a portrait smartphone video. It is always bad. Yeah, but it's on the top of the Oculus Rift subreddit. Which is kind of funny that stuff like that still plays. The third thread is Oculus needs to get their shit together as a storefront. You know, there was an Oculus Rift update. Did everybody get the firmware update that came through? I think it was yesterday. There was a big firmware update. I had to update my firmware. Hopefully that might have fixed some little minor things, that firmware update. But let's see what this person is talking about. So this is Crumbs, Redditor Crumbs. He says, I don't know what they're thinking with this pre-order system, where pre-ordering actually penalizes you compared to someone buying it on release day, but it's absolutely ridiculous. Not having an unlock timer past July 26 is whatever, but when the game unlocks and I'm not allowed to download it because I have a pre-order, what the F is that? For anyone stuck in the same boat, what you have to do is go into settings, accounts, purchase history, and delete your pre-order and then buy the game again and you can actually download it. Yeah, what everybody's talking about here is Marvel Powers United VR, where somehow if you pre-ordered the game, you kind of got screwed. And Oculus support is checking in here. Our apologies for the inconvenience. There was a hiccup with a small number of orders this morning, but we believe the issue has been resolved now. First of all, why would anybody pre-order this game? There was no discount. typically you would get $5 off. So you would get Marvel Powers United for $34.99, and I can understand if you're saving $5, yeah, go ahead and pre-order it. But if you're not saving $5, seems kind of dumb. Okay, let me get off this lady that is bouncing around on the ground. Let me get something else. Different trailer here, of course. I will be resized and everything will be screwed. I'll throw the forest trailer on, I guess. I really need to get back into the forest. I was having some good fun with it. I played a little bit of Seeking Dawn last night, guys. And I'm trying to get back into Seeking Dawn because I have not given Seeking Dawn a fair shake yet, really. And I still don't have, like, I can't say anything about Seeking Dawn because I'm kind of conflicted. The only thing I can say is, man, there are a lot of bug, spider, crab-like enemies in a lot of VR games. And I do have a fear of spiders. Spiders bother me. Like when I played Rush of Blood, Until Dawn Rush of Blood on PSVR, spoilers, but there is a level in that game that is Spider City. And that game really did trigger my spider issue. But I've played a lot of other games, you know, like Edge of Nowhere, you know, all these different games where there's kind of like these spider-like enemies, and I've been able to kind of deal with it. And Seeking Dawn, I also have been able to deal with it. But like these enemies, they rush up on you really quick. But I'm kind of enjoying Seeking Dawn. It's quite dark. And they're almost, you know how there's the Mura effect in our VR headsets where there's that like Mura? It almost seems like when I'm playing Seeking Dawn, like they deliberately have some kind of filter on the screen that almost adds like an extra Mura effect. And what it reminds me of is it reminds me of Mass Effect. You know when Mass Effect had like that cinematic, like old sci-fi movie mode that kind of made the video look a little bit weird and you could either turn that off or turn that on? I'm kind of reminded of that with Seeking Dawn. It's almost like they put this extra little filter on top of it. But yeah, I'm playing a little bit of Seeking Dawn, so I'll try to play more of that and have some thoughts on Seeking Dawn in the coming days. Charles Van Nolan says, I downloaded Attack of the Bugs but haven't played it yet. I have a gnarly spider phobia too. Yeah, I mean, who doesn't really have a spider phobia? I actually don't kill spiders if I don't have to. Like where I live here in Sacramento, we get these wolf spiders. They're really big. They jump super far, and they are like these hairy wolf spiders that are kind of scary looking, but they don't bother me. And the reason they don't bother me is because they don't have that big butt on the end of it. For me, it's all about black widows. Like black widows freak me out. But around my house, there are probably like 50 different black widows that are living around the entire perimeter of my house. And I leave them alone. I don't try to kill them. I don't hire a pest control guy to like spray them and all of that. Because my belief is you leave stuff alone, it leaves you alone, typically. Live and let live is kind of what I feel about spiders. Lethal Weasel VR says Seeking Dawn takes a while to learn because there's a lot and tutorials are crap. But after you get some time in, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, see, I got this thing to like harvest wood, and I haven't done any of that yet. So I've gotten to that, like I've barely scratched the surface of Seeking Dawn. I've hardly played this game at all. Kind of embarrassing how little I've spent in the game. But I just got to that first spot where you find like a base that has been abandoned and it was like attacked by some giant spider things. And then you get like some type of device that allows you to like harvest wood and do something with the wood. And I haven't figured out what to do yet as far as that. But that's where I'm at right now. Crunchy says, I am only freaked out by the black shiny spiders like black widows. Yeah, for me, if they have a really big butt, that freaks me out. But if they don't have one of those really big, I know it's not their butt, it's like the abdomen or whatever it is. But those are the ones that freak me out. Charles Van Nolan says, at nighttime there's a bunch of black widows all over our place too, up here in the mountains. Yeah. California, at least we don't have like the brown recluse, right? Those are the ones that can like seriously jack you up. I used to have this like unreasonable fear of black widows. But the thing about a black widow is if you get bit by a black widow, like if you're, you know, if you're an adult, you're not going to die from a black widow bite. So Fluke Rogi says, spiders don't bother me at all. My creature phobia in VR is sharks. Have you played a VR game that has a really good shark? Because like PlayStation VR Worlds, the first time I was in that shark cage and the great white comes at you, I did move just a little bit, but the visuals just aren't there yet, and the sound isn't quite there yet. So sharks have not bothered me yet in VR so far. Lethal Weasel VR. Anything you can harvest is surrounded by blue sparkles. Okay, I did see the blue sparkles, and I am starting to get used to the menus in Seeking Dawn. And actually, their menu system is pretty decent. It's not bad, you know, because you hit the bottom button on the right Oculus Touch controller, it brings up like your quick menu, and you'll have like a gun there, you'll have a water container, a health pack, the alien burger, right? We all love our alien burgers. And then you just take your hand and you just put your hand on the alien burger, and then now you're holding the alien burger. You can eat the alien burger. You can grab the water pack and drink the water. It's a really weird water container. At first, I couldn't figure out, like I didn't realize that that was a water container and I need to drink it to get my water back up. But yeah, I'm starting to kind of come around on Seeking Dawn, you know, but I'm not going to recommend it or anything yet. Excuse me, got to play some more of it, but I'm starting to come around a little bit by Seeking Dawn. Cthulhu Gamer, I'm in North Carolina. Years ago, did HVAC work, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, blah, 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 right? Black widows and brown recluse spiders all under houses, and snakes. Oh, hell no. Snakes? Okay, I could deal with a garter snake, but any other kind of snake? No way, man. Lethal Weasel VR. Took me forever to figure out the menus. Are you playing on a Vive or a Rift? Because on the Rift, it seemed to work pretty good for me with the menus. Like I've kind of wrapped my head around the menus. That's the thing with all these VR games, is sometimes you'll get into some of these games and the menus, it's just so complicated on how you like select things and activate things, and it becomes a real hassle. But Seeking Dawn, I actually, oh, he's on Rift. Yeah, I've been able to navigate the menus pretty decently. T-Bone, bought this game during the last Steam summer sale. Haven't tried it yet. Looks great. I wonder if he's talking about The Forest. Probably. Also bought Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice for $20 Canadian. Can't wait until the free VR version arrives on the 31st. Yeah, that's a good deal. You got a good deal on that, especially in Canadian dollars, because you Canadian guys are just getting absolutely screwed. Forest devs very silent on updates, and on updates period for that matter. Having fun with it, but it needs some work. Yeah, it's a little janky. I thought it was pretty interesting. Isn't it only $20? Like The Forest is $20, right? I think for $20 it's not that bad. You know, if it was $40, $30, like I'm a lot more lenient on a game that is $19.99. Don't know about the rest of you guys, but I tend to be pretty lenient on a game that's $20 or less. Unless it's a crappy budget title that shouldn't have been $20. Oculus needs a Far Cry game. Doesn't have to be as large, maybe half the size, still would be so cool. Far Cry Primal in VR would be so cool. Yeah, and you know, Ubisoft has done some VR games. The quality of the rendered shark doesn't matter with me. I think I just watched Jaws when I was way too young and it scarred me for life. And you know what it really is too? I think it's the sound. Sound design is so key. That's why I think the Persistence is incredibly scary, because the sound design is really good. Like sound can affect you sometimes. Really good 3D audio can affect you more than the visuals, I think, a lot of the times. T-Bone says The Forest was $17 Canadian during the summer sale. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Okay. Yeah, so it's 11:11 over here probably going to bounce out. Let me just check PSVR subreddit real quick. Oh, you know what? I got an announcement to make, and I should have made this at the top of the show, and I didn't, and that sucks. Quick announcement here. Okay, so the next 4 days, I am going to have to do this show at 2:30 p.m. Pacific time. 2:30 p.m. So we normally do this show at 10 a.m. So tomorrow's show, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, the next 4 days, actually either 2 p.m. or 2:30 p.m. I'm going to try to start at 2 p.m. Pacific time, but some days I might not be able to start until 2:30 p.m. Pacific time. So that is the next 4 days, a new time. So no shows tomorrow at 10 a.m. No show Saturday at 10 a.m., Sunday at 10 a.m., Monday at 10 a.m. No, we're going to be 2 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Pacific time. Basically, for the next 4 days, I have a lot of stuff that I have to do early in the day, and I'm going to be doing this stuff. And then when I get back, I should hopefully be back by 2 p.m., and then I can hop on at 2 p.m. and do it at 2 p.m. But worst case scenario, maybe 2:30 p.m. Yeah, so it's either, I believe in the UK, it would be 10 p.m. or 10:30, right? If it's 2 or 2:30, it'd be 10 or 10:30 p.m. UK time. So yeah, sorry, such a late start time, but that's going to be the way it's going to have to be for the next 4 days. And then on Tuesday, I should be back to normal with a 10 a.m. show. So sorry about that, guys. I should have said this at the beginning of this show. That's a real unfortunate thing that I didn't do that. I'll try to tweet it out tomorrow, you know, that the show is going to be at 2:30 p.m. Anyone else waiting for Moss discount? I'm just checking PSVR subreddit real quick. I don't know. I mean, Moss is still kind of new. It looks like the VR companies are starting to get tired of the VR is dying crap. Yeah, that was probably in relation to that Vive blog. Firewall 0 hour is gold. Remember that whole gold thing when everybody was like, oh, this game went gold? That used to be a big deal back in the days. Zero killed the announcement trailer. We did check that out. Oh, PSVR in 2019. So Zero Killed is going to be coming to PSVR in 2019, but supposedly still coming to Steam and Rift in September, even though the trailer had no gameplay whatsoever. PSVR owners are still talking about rumors of No Man's Sky VR. Firewall 0 hour gameplay from Japan. I looked at that video. It was kind of janky. I was going to copy that video and throw it in here, but didn't look too good. Megaton Rainfall is getting PlayStation Move support, which that is really cool, because I don't know of another game that has added Move support after the fact like that. So yeah, and the PSVR Doom bundle, Best Buy Black Friday in July for $224.99. That's in the USA. Pretty good deal there. Alrighty, guys, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this episode. Let me throw out my outro trailer real quick, if I can find it here. Alrighty, so that's going to do it for the Daily Vlog Live. This, of course, was Thursday, July 26th. Once again, please go ahead, subscribe to the channel, like the video, all those sorts of things. And once again, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, the shows will be at somewhere between 2 p.m. Pacific time and 2:30 p.m. Pacific time. And then on Tuesday, back to normal. We will be back to 10 a.m. Pacific on Tuesday. So we'll see you guys then. All right, take it easy. Later.